Vince, I've kept quiet on the subject for a while now, which is something I don't usually do, but I've got to ask, why are you so against giving Daniel Bryan a match with me at SummerSlam? Why are you so against the two of us competing against each other? Well, Punk, if you were paying attention on Raw, and even just over merchandise sales in the past few years, you would know that neither you nor Daniel Bryan can sell merchandise like some of my other top superstars, like Stone Cold, like The Rock. Putting you and Daniel Bryan in a match together at the pay-per-view at this point in time, I'm trying to sell a good pay-per-view. I'm trying to give people something that they want to buy. And having you in a match versus Daniel Bryan is not what the people want. What the people want, Vince? If anybody knows what the people want, it's me. I'm the voice of the voiceless. So you're saying that a match between Daniel Bryan and I wouldn't sell pay-per-views, but yet a match with The Miz would. Vince, I fail to grasp your logic, because obviously you don't know what the people want. What the people want is CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. So what I suggest you should do is change the match. Put me in a match with Daniel Bryan this Sunday. That's what's good for business. Really, Punk? You're trying to tell me what's good for business? You may have been right in the past. Many people doubted you, that you would ever be a superstar in the WWE. But look at you now, the longest reigning WWE champion in the modern era. You may have been right there, but on this instance, I'm standing my ground. I gave you your chance back in 2012 with the WWE Championship. There was a reason why John Cena was main eventing the pay-per-views, and you weren't. And that's because John Cena, he can sell merchandise. He's carried this company for years, so you know what? How about I put you in a match with John Cena at SummerSlam? And hell, if you could beat Cena then, I'll give you a match with Daniel Bryan. How's that sound? What's up, YouTube? This is Mathos97, and welcome back to another episode of WWE 2K14 Universe Mode. And I've got to do less Vince McMahon promos. Do you realize how difficult it is to impersonate that man? And mine's not even that great, and it's killing my throat, but we're here with main event, and this is episode 12 of the universe, so let's go ahead. Zack Ryder defeats David Otunga in our opening match. Daniel Bryan defeats Chris Jericho. And Drew McIntyre defeats the Great Khali. So let's get into our main event here. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Jack Swagger. Hey, I'm not going to question the main event. As long as it's somewhat relevant, I'll go with it. So we've got the United States Champion Jack Swagger. We've got CM Punk and then Seth Rollins of The Shield. But we do know now, thanks to that promo earlier on, that Vince McMahon has placed CM Punk in a match with John Cena at SummerSlam. And if CM Punk can win, he'll get his match with Daniel Bryan at some point in the future. So if not at SummerSlam, we will get a matchup between these two.
The following triple threat contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 222 pounds, CM Punk. Listen to that reaction. of the WWE Tag Team Champions, the All-American Jack Swagger.
And if you want to know how popular this superstar is, just listen to these cheers.
Main event time here, folks, on Main Event. CM Punk, Jack Swagger, and Seth Rollins. And when we're in here for a long one, folks, we're at long haul. That's what I meant to say. Screw it. I was trying to be clever. Not happening. So we got Jack Swagger, United States champion, one half the tag team champions. So Swagger, he's got a pretty busy schedule coming up. Is this Sunday at SummerSlam, he'll be defending the tag team titles with Zack Ryder against Tons of Funk. And then the following night on Raw, he'll be defending his United States Championship, since we're not going to have him compete twice in one night. So Swagger, the following night, is going to be defending his U.S. title against the winner of the match between The Miz and Antonio Cesaro. And those two will be facing off at SummerSlam as well. So Swagger, he's got two title defenses coming up, so he's got pretty busy schedule. So he's going to have to try to preserve himself in this match, in this triple threat. Maybe let CM Punk and Seth Rollins do the majority of the work. But right now, it looks like Seth Rollins on quite the receiving end. Oh, wow, I didn't even think Swagger was capable of that move. But Seth Rollins on the receiving end of some double team here. Some double teaming. And now Seth Rollins is trying to fight back. And I'm a little surprised these two superstars haven't been ganging up on CM Punk just yet, but Swagger takes down Seth Rollins with a nice German suplex. And, ooh, just driving that knee right into the face. And again, as you see, he's just driving Seth Rollins face first into the mat with his knee. That looks painful, but anyway, oh, it also looks kind of, I don't know. I had a word in mind, but I just forgot it. Slipped my tongue. Anyway, so now CM Punk, just Seth Rollins viciously getting targeted at the head, getting kicked in the face by CM Punk, as Seth Rollins can't catch a break. He's just getting double teamed here. Now the double kicks, as Swagger with an enziguri and a Punk with a super kick, as Rollins just viciously getting beaten in the face. I mean, Seth Rollins, he could walk out of this match with a concussion if this keeps up, but Swagger tried to get the roll-up victory there, but Punk was able to get over there in time to break it up. And now once again a double team here, as they've got him up. Ooh, nice double team maneuver from CM Punk and Jack Swagger. As now Swagger kicking away at Seth Rollins. But I want to talk a little bit more about the developing situation, as we saw Vince McMahon earlier on talking with CM Punk. And so now Punk will be facing John Cena at SummerSlam. And if CM Punk wins, he'll get a match with Daniel Bryan. Vince didn't say when, though, so could it be on Raw, Main Event, SmackDown, the next pay-per-view? Well, I guess we're going to have to wait to find out, but that's if CM Punk can win. So, I mean, no stipulation has really been named if John Cena wins, but Vince McMahon has really sort of I don't know. Sorry, I just can't think of what to say, but Vince McMahon really just being very straightforward with CM Punk, saying that even when Punk held the title for over 400 days, he wasn't main eventing pay-per-views unless it was against John Cena. And he went out and flat out said that the reason why CM Punk was not main eventing pay-per-views was that he couldn't draw an audience like John Cena, was that he couldn't sell the pay-per-view like Cena, and that's why Cena was in the main event. CM Punk, go to sleep to Seth Rollins, and Rollins is busted open here, as everyone's been working the face of Rollins, so it's not surprising. Swagger trying to steal it here, but CM Punk breaks up the pin there. As now Swagger, he's got Rollins, gut-wrench powerbomb. So this seems to be a little bit of one-upsmanship as Punk into the cover, and it's broken up. So CM Punk and Jack Swagger just letting out all their offense onto Seth Rollins. I'd hate to be Seth Rollins so far, so he's taken quite a beating in this one. But now, a double side Russian leg sweep, taking down the United States champion, the real American Jack Swagger. And now it looks like Swagger's on the receiving end of some double teams here. Another side Russian leg sweep. As now Rollins finally getting some offense going here, as he had just been double teamed from the start. Elbow drop there from Punk. And Rollins went for the knee, but I don't think he quite connected. But anyway, so all three of these superstars are pretty busy, actually, as Seth Rollins will be teaming with the Shield, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. As now Swagger into the cover here, but no, Punk kicks out. But like I was saying, Seth Rollins will be teaming with the rest of the Shield against Daniel Bryan and the Brothers of Destruction at SummerSlam. As two heads, in that case, two heads aren't better than one. As Punk, oh, integrity sidekick there. As Seth Rollins, anyway. So what I was trying to say was, CM Punk smashing Seth Rollins and Jack Swagger's heads together. So in that case, two heads weren't better than one. Yeah, I should stick to the normal commentating. Okay, so CM Punk springboard elbow drop missed as Swagger rolls out of the way. And now CM Punk, he's got Swagger into the ropes. So all three of these superstars will be competing at SummerSlam in matches. So looks like my previous comments on Raw saying how this would be the first pay-per-view in universe without CM Punk were false. And Punk with a superplex off the top rope, taking down Swagger. And now Seth Rollins caught Punk off guard there, and he plants him with that neck breaker. And now all he's got to do is cover him here, but he's dragging him to the center of the ring here, into the cover, but he took too long, and now Swagger breaks up the pin. As we just had a little bit of a cut there again, because this match, I mean, this was only a one-match show, like, this was a one-match episode. And, like, because it's a triple threat, superstars tend to get really, like, I don't know, just get to be, they just, I don't know, they break up a lot of pins. And there were, like, a lot of finishers being hit. And just, like, the match should be over at a certain point. Things just, it shouldn't be a finisher fest there at the end. But, I mean, I don't know, it's just what it was becoming. As, pins kept getting broken up because, the AI don't know how to keep down the other superstars in a multi-man match. They're just too persistent and going for a big double DDT there, but no, that's not what I meant. The AI seems to be stubborn and kind of stupid. They just pretty much go right in for the cover when there's obviously another superstar standing right there, which is, I don't know. The AI's gotten a little bit better. They don't just randomly stand around like they did in WWE 13. I mean, they do that sometimes, but Jack Swagger gut wrench powerbomb to Seth Rollins, but I mean, they do it sometimes, but not nearly as often. The AI's gotten smarter, but they're not quite, like, sometimes even falls, they'll just stand there and not break up the pin, but in this one, they'll actually go over there. But, anyway, the AI, they've gotten a little bit smarter, but there still are some issues there a little bit that can be fixed. But, I mean, no game is going to be perfect, and, I mean, if it was, then how would they make merchandise sales then? No, that's not what I meant. But, you know what I mean. There's got to be some changes that need to be made. No game is perfect. And that's one of the things we could look forward to maybe in the future. But yeah, just try to get the AI to be a little more intelligent. But anyway, let's get back into the match. Punk into the cover, won, but it's broken up by Seth Rollins. As now Jack Swagger gut wrench powerbomb to CM Punk, and now into the cover, won, but Seth Rollins breaks the pin once again. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Seth Rollins with the neck breaker, planting Jack Swagger, but a rope break there as Punk kind of pushed him a little bit closer to the ropes. And a double side Russian leg sweep from Punk and Jack Swagger to Seth Rollins. And Punk went for the springboard elbow, but didn't really connect with anyone there. And now Punk, he's got Seth Rollins up on his shoulders here. Go to sleep connects to Seth Rollins. And into the cover. One, and it's broken up again by Jack Swagger. This is what I meant. Roll up by Punk. One, and broken up by Seth Rollins. And I mean, like with certain matches, if things just tend to get, like if the match isn't looking all that great, it's kind of not spotty, but like it's just sort of like, how do I want to say this? Like, if it's just getting to be too unrealistic and it's just dragging on. I mean, I don't really like to watch matches that go on for that long either. If you get like a 20-minute match and you do that like several times, it's not very easy to watch. It's pretty much getting to the point where it's like, okay, wrap it up. So that's kind of what I try to do with this match, and that's what I try to do with my episodes, because they tend to, like, some matches tend to drag on a lot more than they really need to. So that's why if certain certain matches, if they just have the cuts in them, that's why, because they just drag on longer than they need to, and I don't want to make you have to watch anything more than you really have to. But Swagger, full Nelson on Seth Rollins, and Jack Swagger. Seth Rollins tapped out there, and Swagger gets the victory in this triple threat. Normally, I'd be like, it's not the greatest finish, it's a little unrealistic, but when the match goes on for so long, you really don't care how it finishes as long as it ends. And Swagger gets the victory in this triple threat. But wait a minute, that's Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler now attacking Jack Swagger. What? I mean, Dolph Ziggler attacking Swagger. What is this? Ziggler has had his issues with Swagger in the past. Former #1 contender for the U.S. title. They had a match that's over the limit. And then Dolph Ziggler was competing in that tag team feud with him up to Vengeance, unsuccessfully in their attempts at the tag team titles. But Ziggler, it looks like his issues with Swagger are not yet over as he attacks Swagger with the pipe there. But regardless, Jack Swagger got the victory, and that'll build big momentum into his U.S. title match next week, as well as his tag team title defense at SummerSlam. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Keep on YouTubing.